If you've ever walked past your school after dark, and felt like something was watching you, you're not imagining it. Because in Monroe High, what's buried underneath, never stayed quiet. In 1998, Monroe High School, nestled in a quiet Illinois town, shut down its lower level for maintenance. No student was ever told why. The basement classrooms were sealed. The lights were cut. And the staircase was chained shut with rusted iron. But every October, teachers heard voices. Under the floors. Laughter. Crying. Sometimes even screaming. They said it was the plumbing. But the janitors? They knew better. One of them, Mr. Wills, had worked there for over 30 years. He always warned the new staff. Never go near the basement after dark. They all laughed, until last fall. A substitute teacher named Ms. Corbin, new to Monroe High, tried to take a shortcut through the east hallway after school. She saw the basement door wide open. No chains. She stepped inside. Cold air rushed past her. The lights upstairs flickered, and went dark. Her phone flashlight barely lit the stairs. They creaked as she descended. The air smelled like wet cement, and something dead. At the bottom, the hallway stretched into blackness. Old doors with classroom labels still hung. B1. B2. B3. Then, she heard it. From room B4. Children. Whispering. Laughing. Singing a rhyme that no child should ever sing. Ring around the rosy. They all fall down. Slam. Every door in the hall slammed shut. She turned. But the stairwell was gone. A wall stood in its place. Solid. Cold. Panicked, she ran. Until she saw light from under room B3. She opened the door. And found a classroom. Perfectly clean. Desks in rows. A chalkboard that read, "Welcome back, class of 74. Sitting in the desks. Children. Still. Eyes completely black. One stood up and smiled. "We've been waiting, Ms. Corbin." She never came back. Her car was found idling in the parking lot. Security footage showed her walking into the East Wing at 6:17 p.m. She was never seen again. They sealed the basement door. This time with steel. But every October, if you walk by Monroe High after sunset, you can still hear it. Children singing from beneath the ground. Ashes, ashes. We all fall down. My name's Carter Jennings. Back in 2014, I was a junior at Bridgemont High. A huge, brick school in western Pennsylvania. Old as hell. Built in the 1920s. The hallways smelled like bleach and dust. The lights always flickered. And the elevator? Yeah, weirdest part of the whole place. Nobody used it. Ever. It was slow, clunky, and half the time it wouldn't open. But here's the thing. There were only 2 floors. Ground floor, upper floor. That's it. So why? Did the elevator have a button that said 3? At first, we thought it was a joke. Something left over from an old renovation or something. But then people started talking. Seniors said weird stuff happened when they pressed it. Doors would close. The lights would dim. And sometimes, they'd vanish for hours. Come back pale, shaking. Never wanting to talk about it. Some even transferred. One dropped out entirely. So, being a dumb high school junior with something to prove, I decided to find out for myself. It was October 30th. Night before Halloween. We had after-school drama rehearsals until 8. I stayed behind, pretending I forgot my backpack. The halls were dark, nearly empty. Just the janitor sweeping somewhere far down the science wing. I walked straight to the elevator. Pushed the call button. It groaned to life, slow and heavy. The doors creaked open. I stepped inside. Ground. 2. And then 3. My finger hovered. Then I pressed it. The elevator lurched. And began to rise. But here's where it gets wrong. It didn't feel like I was going up. It felt like I was going down. Like the gravity was pulling me backwards. The lights inside started to flicker. The numbers on the panel glitched. Switched to symbols I didn't recognize. Then, darkness. When the doors finally opened. It wasn't a hallway. It was a corridor, yes. But one covered in yellowed wallpaper. Damp carpet. And buzzing fluorescent lights. It smelled like mold and something sweet and rotting. There were lockers, but they were old. Not from the 2000s. From the 1950s maybe. A school bell rang. But it sounded off. Like it was underwater. Then I heard footsteps. Several. Moving in perfect rhythm. I hid behind one of the old lockers. Peeking through the cracks. That's when I saw them. Students. But they weren't right. Their skin was grayish. Their mouths too wide. Their eyes, completely black. And they were whispering. Don't leave. Stay with us. He's coming. Then I felt it. Cold. Heavy. Wet breath. Right behind my neck. I didn't turn. I just ran. The elevator door was still open. Thank God. I leapt in. Slammed the ground floor button. Didn't look back. But as the doors began to shut, I heard it. A low voice. Whispering from the hallway. You've seen it now, Carter. Next time. You stay. I never used the elevator again. None of us did. But every now and then, a freshman goes missing for a few hours. Comes back. Quiet. Pale. Won't talk. And the school never says anything. They act like it didn't happen. But we know. We all know. Because once you press 3, there's no unseeing what's on that floor. Every school has secrets. But at Bridgemont High, some doors were never meant to open. And some buttons should never be pressed.